Hi, I'm Rosanna Estes, and for my gallery, The Art of Ancient Etruscans, the layout of the ground plan is in the shape of a circle. I liked the shape because I was inspired by the Chinese gallery that we looked at in the Penn Museum, and it has tall ceilings as well to kind of mimic that extra level of beauty and interest in the shape of the gallery. There are a few skylights around the top of the walls and as well as in the middle of the ceiling to let in some warm natural lighting, as well as the electric lighting that I included over the art objects themselves. The windows around the walls are arched rectangular shapes, and the window at the top center of the ceiling is in the shape of a circle. The ceiling itself is arched and rounded to mimic the round shape of the room and to give an elongated and open feel. The ceiling has elegant molding as well to add the feeling of extravagance whenever the visitors look up at the ceiling. The lighting throughout the space is mostly warm-toned but not too yellow. Since the style of my gallery is not typically modern, I didn't want to have a super bright white lighting in the gallery, which is usually a more typically modern look. The warm tone lighting also makes the gallery feel more homey and more of a natural feeling space. My walls are a shade of olive green, as I think this is a calming and natural wall color, and there's wooden flooring throughout the space. It's a dark stained color and kind of worn looking, and these choices were all to create an old, traditional, and natural looking space. My gallery has pretty molding around the ceiling and baseboards. This gives an exquisite and tasteful look and adds an extra level of detail to look at. Molding makes a place look like it is beautiful and built with talent and hard work, which I really admire, so I wanted to include that in the space that I had. I also have some plants to add some extra life to the space. For seating, I have multiple seating options throughout the space. There is one leather couch in the center of the room, so that the viewers can view all of the artifacts from one place. It is also placed in the center so that visitors have a place to sit while viewing my gallery's short film. In the center of the room, I have a short film of the artifact's historical context and significance to add to the experience, as I find film to be a very captivating way to display information. I also have two other leather couches on the sides of the room, kind of up against the walls, so that the visitors can have other options of places to take a rest while viewing the artwork. So here you can see the full ground plan of my gallery. In the corner down here, you can see the ceiling and its arched shape, as well as the windows that are around the top. You can see with the dotted black lines the visitor flow, where the introductory statement and map and timeline is whenever you enter, and then the flow throughout walking to view each artifact in the room, as well as the olive green wall color around the border of the circle and the wooden and natural look throughout the gallery. And now for my introductory statement. Etruria, located in central Italy between the Arno and Tiber rivers, was the home of the Etruscans and ancient Italic culture. The Etruscans, developing from the earlier Villanovan culture, can be linguistically identified by circa 700 BCE and existed until their culture was subsumed by the Romans at the end of the 2nd century BCE. Etruscan sites have been extensively excavated with a focus on sanctuaries and cemeteries such as Cerveteri, Tarquinia, Veii, Vetulonia, and Volci. Sorry if I mispronounce any of those. While approximately 1,300 Etruscan texts have been excavated, these are mostly quite short and do not provide much insight into the culture. As a result, most of our known knowledge of the Etruscans come from art and archaeology, including vividly colored tomb paintings depicting scenes from life, death, and mythology, and the Etruscans developed into master metalsmiths. The Etruscans had close relationships with the Greek colonies in southern Italy, resulting in significant Greek influence on Etruscan pottery by the Orientalizing period. Particularly notable was Bucchero, the most successful Greek-influenced Etruscan pottery style, which was characterized by its shiny black surface and shapes molded after metal vessels. During the Archaic and Classical periods, the Etruscans participated in the extensive trade undertaken through the Mediterranean to access precious materials such as amber, ivory, ostrich eggs, and semi-precious stones. The Etruscans are known for their finely worked bronzes, including cast sculptures, mirrors, stands, chariots, and thrones decorated with hammered reliefs and ornate vessels. They are also known for impressive sculptures and architectural reliefs architectural reliefs made of terracotta, and for their striking funerary works, including sarcophagi and cinerary urns carved in high relief. Surviving jewelry is opulent, using materials like gold and semi-precious stones drawn on Eastern Greek and Levantine forms adapted to Etruscan styles. Other Etruscan artworks are influenced by Greek iconography, especially mythological iconography, but this is often hard to interpret. So the first object in my gallery are the two single ball earrings from the Archaic period. From circa 6th century BCE, these earrings were made of gold, and the first one is 1.4 by 1.3 by 1.6 centimeters, and the second one is 1.5 by 2 by 1.7 centimeters. They are from the art market and currently in Metropolitan Museum of Art, purchased by subscription in 1895. This piece is known as two single A-ball earrings and is an example of gold statement jewelry that was popular in the Archaic period. The earrings show the fine details throughout with the use of wires, granulated finial, and delicated filigree palmets. So the second object in my gallery is the lion ring with satyr heads. It is from the late Archaic period, circa early 5th century BCE. Here's what it looks like. It is made of gold carnelian. It is 2.7 centimeters in diameter, and it is from the art market, currently in Metropolitan Museum of Art, allegedly part of the Vulcan group, a two-chambered subterranean tomb at Volchi. The lion ring with satyr heads is a large ring made from gold and carnelian. The ring depicts a flying bird with a snake in its beak, as well as two identical faces with beards, as can be seen on both sides. Last but not least, the third object in my gallery is the carved bow of a fibula, as can be seen here. It is from the Archaic period. It is made of amber, and it is 14 centimeters in length. It came from the art market and is currently in the Metropolitan Museum of Art, allegedly from Falconara on Adriatic coast. The carved bow of a fibula is an Etruscan carving from the Archaic period. The carving is made completely from amber and shows great detail in the garments of a man and a woman reclining together. I also forgot to mention that the carved bow of a fibula is from 500 BCE. So lastly, for my gallery's art market and ethics statement, provenance is the place of origin or of the history of an artwork and its record of its ownership throughout time. So for the provenance of the three artifacts in my gallery, all three of the objects were from the art market. I would personally rather have objects with clear provenance going back to the excavated site than objects from the art market. However, I do think it is interesting to have objects from the art market to discover where they have been and where they've been traded and the history of that. So I think it is okay that museums acquire art from the art market today. I still think it is possible to acquire information about a piece of art's past, even if it's from the art market. Additionally, not all works from the art market are acquired illegally. Some, most likely, still have records of provenance and therefore would still be good to obtain. However, if museums have acquired objects that have been looted or forged, they should be either returned to their rightful owner if possible, or if this isn't possible, they should be displayed with a disclaimer of the object's past and how it came to be where it is currently. So that is all about my gallery, so thanks for listening.